Very quick review of what did you learn in the previous session, anyone? First block 1, managerial economics, nature, scope, concepts, decision issues and theories, optimization we finished, and followed by, we discussed in the last class about demand concept and analysis, how demand and price has inverse relationship. Remember anyone? We discussed demand function, types of demands, nature of demand, law of demand, demand curve, exceptions. Yes. So now let's look at changes in demand versus change in quantity demanded. Changes in demand leads to change in quantity demanded. How and see with the same example what we discussed in the previous class. I think every one of you should have a notebook pen with a pencil to draw the graphs. See, this subject needs your demands you all to do the graphical representation along with the tables for better understanding. Okay, so look at this table. It gives you consumer A income and price demand. How if A's income stands at 1,000 rupees, what is at what price, how much he is able to demand is given. On the contrary, behind, if the salary income is 4,000, then the price and demand is also given. See, if the consumer A's income is 1,000 rupees only, when the price is high, that is rupees 70, there is no demand. Understood? The same example, we last class also we discussed about price of tomatoes and onions. 60 rupees, no demand. 50 rupees, no demand. 40 rupees, there is a demand for slightly 2 kgs. When in the case of 30 rupees, it is 4. When 20, it is demanded 10 kgs. That means lesser the price, more is demanded. On this side, if you see income level rising from 1,000 to 4,000, right? 1,000 to 4,000. When 4,000, 3,000 plus, when the ability to buy is increasing, it is having an impact on the demand. Price is 70. When the salary was 1,000, there is no demand. But when the salary is 4,000, there is a demand, least but yet 1 kg. 60, 2 kgs. So on and so forth. When the price is 70 rupees, there is a demand for 10 kgs. And when the price is 20, there is a demand for 20 kgs. And you see this graph. This is price, this is demand. P3, P2, P1 is price 1, price 2, price 3. And when price 1, it is quantity 1. And when price 2, quantity 2. P3, contraction and extension. Here you can see how the graph is moving. When there is change in quantity demanded, which is based upon the price. And this happens when there is change in income also. There can be change in the quantity demanded. Okay. I want you all to do this table. Make a note 4.2 and 4.8 table and graph in your notebooks. Followed by, we have 4.9 graph, which is change in quantity demand. This is based upon the income. This is based on the income. When the income is 1,000, when the income is 1,000 and when the income is 4,000. Okay, the price on the y-axis and the demand on the x-axis, demand 1 and demand 2, D1 and D2. Okay, so the price and the demand is nothing but quantity here, quantity 1 and quantity 2. When the price, when the income is increasing, you see there is a shift. Okay, from D1, the curve is moving towards D2. Because whatever be the price, slightly the demand for the quantity will increase. The reason here is because of the increase in the income. Okay, you can see here what factors leads to change in quantity demanded, change in demand. The quantity demanded falls of ice cream. Again, another example here is given. Falls if the price increases, rises if the price falls. Inverse relationship, quantity and price. If the price is low, the quantity demanded is more. If the price is increasing high, then the quantity demanded will be very low. Likewise, supposing if the household income is more, so they don't have to bother about the price. Yes, some unusual prices, like if the skyrocketing prices we say because of some changes it is happening, then at that time instead of eating, one person eating 2 ice creams will end up eating 1 ice cream only. That can be the difference. So based upon the level of income, the purchasing power of an individual is decided. And this can be a contributing factor for demand, which is leading to change. And if in case the prices are high, such demand will be contradictory less. But in case if the prices are low, instead of eating 1 per individual, end up eating 2 or even 3 also. So these are the various factors. So this complete, if you have your textbooks with you all, you can just go through all this complete factor list. Okay. And this 4.8 and 4.9 curve, both the curves, you will have to draw. Now, in your books, this makes you, practice and understand better the relationship between the price and the quantity. And this is the usual 4.8 change in quantity demanded is the usual curve, whereas this one is including the factor of income. Income, when it is increasing, how the demand for the given product also will shift from one place to another. Same is the case with when the prices are, when the income is decreasing. Suppose in the same curve, below D1, if we have, one second. See, below D1, let us name it to be D0. This is a situation where income is lowered. Now, in the above case, it is 1,000. So let's say here the income is 500. Why? Here you will see the difference in the change in quantity demanded is, even if the prices are low, they're unable to buy. Instead of buying 20 kgs, if you look at the previous slide, instead of buying 20 kgs, they end up buying only, see here, when the price is 20, they're able to buy 10 kgs here. So in case if the income is lower to 500, okay, then when the price is 20, they may end up buying only 5 kgs. When their income is 500, the quantity demanded will be 5. Because of this change, what we are trying to understand here, the curve, you all draw this curve, you will understand. The curve you will understand. Here, another, you can add, which is D0. And this, when your income is 500. Okay. Any doubts up until here? Anyone? No. All right. Let's move on to the relationships. Let's now understand quickly the relationship between demand and revenue. Revenue is income which is generated by selling the quantity which is demanded. Total revenue, TR, it is denoted by TR, and the sum total of sale profits, TR is equals to always Q into P. Q is quantity, P is one second. Q into P. And average revenue, it is denoted by AR, and the formula for calculating AR is TR divided TR, that is total revenue, is divided by quantity. Or otherwise, in case if you don't have total revenue and you are given price and quantity, with this also you can do. P product of price and quantity divided by, excuse me, is equals to price. So both the ways you can, find out the AR, that's average margin, average revenue. Then you have marginal revenue, that is MR. Marginal revenue is the rate of change. Marginal is all about change in the rate, total revenue with respect to change in quantity. Because of the change in revenue, what is the impact on quantity which is sold? Marginal revenue we calculate with this formula, that is derivatives. Now, how many of you know the derivatives? Dy by dx. Dy by dx, suppose x square it is. Then dx square by dy is equals to 2x it becomes. Do you know this? Suppose if it is x cube, this becomes, product comes down here, the root comes down 3x to the power of 3 minus 1, which is 3x square. This is called derivative. Simple fundamentals of derivatives are used here in managerial economics. If you know, well and good, otherwise you need lot practice. You need to practice this in order to do this. Now see this table 4.4. Price is given and quantity is given. TR is calculated. Simply 10 into 10, 100. 9, 10, 9, 2s are 18. 3 8s 24. 7 4s 28, 280. So on and so forth. TR is calculated. After calculating TR, then you can find out AR. AR is nothing but this column, that's TR, into Q. This is Q. That means 100 divided by 10 is 10. 180 divided by 2 is 9. So on and so forth. 280 divided by 70 is 4. All right. Then we have AR, and AR is TR, that's 100 into quantity, 100 into Q. Now what is your Q? 10 divided by P. Here the formula is, you can see AR above the formula is given. Okay, then marginal revenue is simply TR minus TR, N minus 1. This is 180 minus 100, the above one. Okay, divided by 10, which is 8. Similarly, 240 divided by minus 180 divided by 10. Marginal. This is actually derivatives. If you simply use derivatives just now, how I showed, it will be easy for you. Okay, so MR is 864202. How many of you are from Max background here? Very good. Maleshwari. So now, what I want you all to do is, all of you, 4.2, 4.8, please do make a note, 4.2, 4.8, 4.9, then 4.4, and then these graphs. These two tables and these two graphs, kindly do it in your notebook for your better understanding. I will join back in next 5 minutes. Meanwhile, I want you all to do this and we'll start the next chapter. Okay. Is it clear to all of you? Please do the tables and graphs in the next 5 to 10 minutes. I'll join back, right?
Hello, ma'am. No voice.
Yes. Any updates? Have you done? The problems are not there in the questions, exercise questions. Only theory is asked, but basic fundamental calculations of finding TR and AR, that is for your understanding. If you do those calculations, you will be in a position to understand the movement of curves, why they are moving upwards, this particularly D1, D2. All right, why these curves are moving in this directions, and why I just explained DO, right? When the income level is 500. So that scenarios you will better understand in case if you slightly get into the calculations. Otherwise, it will become just like, theoretical part you have to understand key, yes. without calculations. But those who are from mathematics, intermediate mathematics is enough. Fundamentals, not in depth. Only fundamentals is required. Okay. So have you done? Anyone? Maleshwari, have you done? All right. Well, nobody is replying yet. It's okay, even if not, please keep trying and keep trying the table followed by the graph. You try to draw it. In case if you're not getting again tomorrow's class, you can ask. But yes, I would urge you all to do it. Only then you will have a better understanding. Okay. Yeah. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is elasticity of demand. Now you understood how demand is changing with a small change in price, with a change in income, right? In the previous classes, in the previous units, we've understood about that. Then now let's get into understanding the measurement of elasticity. What is the concept of elasticity of demand and how do we measure it? What is elasticity of demand? It is nothing but a percentage change in quantity demanded, which is caused by the same percentage of change by the determinants under various situations. Okay, some determinants are constant and some which are changing are leading to change in the demand. Change in demand. Okay, that is we refer as elasticity. The more you expand, the more it gets bigger, right? So this expansion, the more you put your force, how much force you put up in a rubber band to, make it bigger, force is directly related to the size of the band which is increasing, which will be increased. Here also one determinant, one factor which will force the demand to increase. That is elasticity of demand. Change in one of the determinant will lead to change in the demand. For example, just now we learned how income is also one factor, right? How from 1,000 rupees income, if it is increasing to 4,000, how there is change in demand in the previous table. Instead of buying 10 kgs, now they are in a position to buy 20 kgs because there is increase in the income. Now this particularly we've done in the previous concept in terms of values. Here we'll be doing in terms of percentages. And we'll try to understand the elasticity of demand, to what extent the demand is elastic in terms of percentages. So the formula here is percentage change in quantity demanded of a good divided by the percentage change in the determinant of Z. See here, any determinant it could be, not necessary that it is always income or any other. It could be any other factor. Measurement of elasticity of demand. Now, there are ways to measure the elasticity of demand. In this, two important methods are point elasticity and arc elasticity of demand. These are very important. Please do make a note. examination point of view also, these are very important. Arc elasticity and point elasticity of demand. All right. Now, what is point elasticity and what is arc elasticity? Let us understand. Now, you see here, point elasticity definitions represent with table wherever required and graph in the examination. Even in the assignments that you are submitting with respect to economics, managerial economics, always you have to accompany with table and graph. Now, these tables and graphs, if you have a better understanding, you can have your own imaginary figures, not confined or you are not limited to the tables which are given in the textbook. You can take up any event which is happening currently, a product you can pick up and its demand you can note down for 5 days, the price and the demand. In case if you have time, and yes, if for a better understanding of the subject, it is required, but I don't know how many of you would successfully do it, but yes, you have to do it. Otherwise, at least confine yourself to the material which is given. Point elasticity of demand is all about, a particular point. It is, as it is, the word used in its title, point. It is a point. Okay, it is a node or a point on the demand curve, and it is in a straight line method curve. The elasticity through this point is measured in these following. See, the above method is, here you can see on the curve. Let me show you with my marker. Here it is, P. Okay, on this is a demand curve. This is curve. This is curve, which is straight line. On this curve, there is a point P. Okay, this point denotes the point elasticity of demand. Now, how do you measure it and how do you now analyze it is, see, the straight line curve is touching both the axes, x-axis and y-axis. And if you see, it divides the whole curve from A to B into two parts. That is AP from here to here and from here to here, BP. It is dividing the whole curve into two parts, from A to P and from B to P. It is touching y-axis and x-axis. It is a point on the curve, which is a straight line. Okay, supposing, and here the formula you can see, PB divided by PA for the upper part. Now that we can understand in our next workings. So as of now, you can see point elasticity of demand has x-axis, y-axis. It is having a curve which is straight line. And this point is dividing the curve into two portions, namely AP and PB. So these are the points of point elasticity of demand curve. Supposing if the demand curve is not in a straight, unlike in the previous set of example curve, if it is in curve shape, then you can see the demand is curve shaped here. It is not straight line, unlike in the previous. It is not straight line. Here it is straight line, AB. Whereas here it is, you see, it is not straight line. The demand is curved. DD is the demand curve. You can see here. DD. This demand curve is measured at point P. This is called as a tangent. Now you are from mathematics background, not very high level or intensely mathematical background, fundamentals. 10th to 12th class knowledge is sufficient to understand the derivatives, etc. AB is drawn to the point P. Elasticity of demand at point P is measured by using this formula. Now, this formula is given here. Elasticity of demand is equals to, since it is dividing into two parts, lower part of the segment demand curve divided by the upper part of the demand curve will give you elasticity of demand. Now, this elasticity of demand has different points in straight line. Okay, in case, suppose in here you can see in the next graphical representation, you have P, P1 and P2. Suppose if P is your midpoint. Okay, P is a midpoint in straight line. Then demand elasticity of demand P2 is greater than 1 and P4 P2 is greater than 1 and PB is less than 1. If the point is at higher to the left of the P, if you look at, it gives you the midpoint to the right. And this elasticity of demand is less than all the points. And at a point where the demand curve is meeting x-axis, the elasticity will be 0. It lies between 1 and 0. Okay. This graph representation is also important from the point of view of examination. Point elasticity. Okay. See, next we have 3 situations. Okay, one is vertical line, which is called as inelastic, and second, easy to understand and to remember, I'm explaining, perfectly inelastic. We call it to be a perfectly inelastic demand curve. Okay, is vertical on the graph, vertical line on the graph. Whereas it is elastic, that is perfectly elastic demand curve is horizontal line, which is parallel to the x-axis. So DD curve, when it is vertical line, when it is appearing as a vertical line, we call it as perfectly inelastic demand. And when it is coming parallel to the x-axis and it is in horizontal line, we consider or we call it as to be perfectly elastic demand. Okay, so DD curve, that is demand curve, are of either inelastic or elastic. Okay, one is parallel to x-axis, which is elastic. Another is parallel to y-axis, which is inelastic. Now, the points below this graph, you can mention all your understanding with your demand curve. How the demand curve is straight line. It is parallel to y-axis. It is inelastic. When it is parallel to x-axis, it is elastic. Sometimes even it is called as unitary elastic. Okay, so here this below graph, this graph shows you the change, percentage change that we're talking about in elasticity of demand. Percentage change is denoted by a triangle like this. This triangle, this particular symbol denotes the percentage change. Percentage change in price, percentage change in demand. This graph you already did in demand, right? This is P. This one, this is P1, P2, D1, Q1, Q2. Okay. The change of one of the determinant is leading to the change in demand. Change in price is leading to the change in demand. When a change or a percentage change in the price will lead to percentage change in demand, this curve you need to draw. Now you may be wondering what all these graphs are and how are these useful. It is useful in understanding, that is, understanding the present situation and then applying it into practical application. Now, where is this applied in? See, level of output and price. Suppose in a given market, the seller in the market wanted to know the influencers, the various determinants which is leading to the increase in the price. With this elasticity of demand curves, whether it is inelastic, will it react? Will it have any influence on the price or not? Depending on that, the seller or the manufacturer can decide how much to produce, what to produce. Okay, whether to stop the production also, they decide. Similarly, demand forecasting, the weather forecasting is, you can see daily basis pay the forecasting. Forecasting of any product's demand and supply is purely based on these graphs. Then government policies also, whether with regards to agriculture or a specific industry, they try to use all this, elasticity of demand concepts and take frame various policies. This is of great help to the government, even to frame the tax policy. When Nirmala Sitharaman happens to present the tax regime budget in the budget sessions, you look towards various products or goods, etc. These all, elasticity of demand concept is one of the element which they apply in making the policies, in deciding as to what should be the prices and how the market is going to be, whether it is petrol, diesel, whatever so product. given, they try to assume imaginary figures by changing the price. Will it have a effect on quantity demanded or not? All these tests are done on paper with the help of these formulas and the graphs to better understand, and so is. All right. So various places, whether for a manufacturer at industry level or a government, for industry altogether, they use these concepts in order to make decisions wisely and timely, so that they, don't get into losses, they don't incur losses and suffer, losses in the short run as well as in the long run. I hope the elasticity demand concept and the elasticity of demand concept is clear. Yet, I would say if you have doubt, you can ask. But I would request you all to kindly do these tables and graphs. And your presentation of answers in the exam as well should be with these graphs. Okay. Yeah, we will be doing further all these concepts in the tomorrow's session. For today, we will stop here. I guess have the next class, the break time. Okay, then shall we leave for today and see you all in tomorrow's session? Do keep practicing. Okay, take care.
Yes,
Bye-bye.
ma'am.
Yeah.